What Gen Z is, right? So there are some discrepancies in terms of when exactly they were born and when that cuts off, but it's generally accepted to be somewhere around 1996 to 2012. So our oldest Gen Zs are already about 5 years into their professional careers. They're slated to make up 30% of our workforce by 2030. That number is rapidly climbing. We're seeing it every day. So that's Gen Z's age and kind of where they're positioned right now. Some very common characteristics about the generation. They are very passionate. Gen Z is super into what they're into, is what I like to say. Gen Z is very values centric. We see that a lot in the world of work. We see Gen Z being very, very concerned, the most concerned generation about environmental health, about sustainability, about corporate social responsibility. They're very in tune with what their employers are doing and facing in the world, sort of how they're branding themselves. Gen Z is very, very value centric. They're also super eager to learn. They are curious. They are truly the digital native generation. They are super technologically savvy. Gen Z is very considerate. I think a common misconception about Gen Z is that they really struggle to communicate and they don't know how to communicate professionally or exhibit those traits of professionalism in the world of work. I simply don't think that that's true. I think that Gen Z is super transparent and communicative, which is a new way of communicating that's sort of getting into the workplace and becoming a new norm. So that's a misconception. And then a big one that's really swept TikTok, that swept social media, is this lazy generation. You may have seen back in 2022, Brian Creeley describing quiet quitting. I think Gen Z took that term and sort of ran with it, even though a lot of us are just sort of starting our careers. But it's really about, not being so dedicated to and stressed about work to the point that it's all consuming, to the point that it's really impacting our mental health, to the point that it's becoming unbearable to even think about a future of work or a really solid career for ourselves. So there's a lot of misconceptions about Gen Z and how they fit into the world of work, but I'm really excited about how those fits can start to change and take shape and really influence other generations as we start to work intergenerationally and our younger workforce builds, as some of our older workforce starts to leave.